Hi guys, Crypto here from Cryptogasmic.com. Really quick update on what's happening with Bitcoin, what's happening with Ethereum. We're going to have a look at where we can do some possible trades today, tomorrow, this week, next week. And we're going to have a look at some interesting things that you're not going to want to miss regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum longer term. Here we go. All right, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. New high for Ethereum, which is amazing. So really quick video because I want to see if we can get some opportunities to make some money on Bitcoin today or Ethereum. We've got some other trades going on at Cryptogasmic.com, but I want to look mainly at Bitcoin and Ethereum, short term and long term. So let's get straight into it. So Bitcoin long term. I want to have a look at something really interesting here, right? So obviously we've had this massive run from here. Now, if we take our fib, which is here, no, it's not, it's here, right? If we take our Fibonacci and we run it from there to where the money came in, okay? Now, I'm looking at this on the weekly chart. Okay, right on the weekly chart. And I kind of want to go from where that money started to come. I mean, part of me wants to go from here, which kind of works out exact, actually. Now, so if we look at this from here, this Fibonacci, if we would have looked at this all the way back here in December 2017, we could have had this point right here, 42,041. So for anybody out there who says TA doesn't work, that has smashed it. Now, if we look at these little quick fib levels through the history of time, perfect, perfect, perfect. So as we've got a lot of data wherever you're from, perfect, we can see that this fib positioning is really working, right? And so forth. I mean, perfect. I mean, if I was around back in the days of Fibonacci, I would be, I'd be all over him. And look at that. It's given us the perfect point, okay? And now it's also given us the perfect point of where we're starting to find resistance. So that's what I want to talk about. So according to this, we are in a third wave, okay? So I work with Elliott waves, which means, you know, we are like 1, 2, or maybe even 2 over here, whatever, 3. So we are now looking at a wave 4 retracement in the long term. Before we head off up here somewhere, right, to a possible, you know, this is going to take us through to $60,000. Now, this is probably going to happen a lot faster than what this does. Now, for those of you who trade crypto and know crypto, obviously, you know, I've got to stop saying the word obviously, that we move in these like this. Imagine going long on Bitcoin on the 28th of September, like 10x at 11,000. Oh boy, right? So what I'm doing is giving us a little bit of insight to where we should be going from a technical analysis point of view. And you can see that it's all of those points have hit Mr. Fibonacci's spots, okay? So based on that, where are we retracing to, all right? So let's have a look at the possibilities and why I do think we are in a long-term retrace. But short term, I think we can still make some money. So we're going to look at that really quickly. I'm going to try and fly through this very quickly, okay? So we're looking for a wave 5 retracement somewhere. So the first level we're looking at right now is 32,239, okay? we've also got this other line that we were looking at for holding resistance now, which is going to come into play a little bit later, which is something I'm going to have a look at. Then we're having a look at 25 something, and then we're having a look at retesting $20,000, which is a possibility, guys. Okay, it's a real possibility. I'm not sure that is going to happen. I have been saying for a month now that I do think we are going to see $28,000 to $24,000 again. That is where I think we're going to go. Now this may take time to get down here, and it may flash to here and then up. That could possibly happen. So what we're talking about now is probably more for people looking to get into Bitcoin long term. Those people like me who have had Bitcoin for a long time and we're looking for a position to sell and maybe get back in later. This one's for you, and then we're going to have a look at the short term really, really quickly. Okay, so before we get into that, just a quick shout out, right, that we do have a free 2-week trial of our VIP services at Cryptogasmic, where we talk about this stuff 24 hours a day in our VIP chat room. You get access to all of our buy and sell trade signals, daily market videos, update videos, live TA shows, live trading. This has got to be the best community on the internet for crypto. We don't sell you any bullshit. It is just straight up what we see, where we think, and we want to show you how to make money and create financial freedom. So www.cryptogasmic.com, you will sign up for a free membership. I will then personally send you an email offering you the free 2-week upgrade so you can check everything out. If you send me your Telegram ID or send me a message on Telegram at Cryptogasmic, I'll add you to the VIP chat room for that period as well. Okay, right, so that's what I'm seeing for there. And you can see another couple of things. The last times we had now on this run up, we have not had a red candle. Look how many weeks, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like 3 months. So when you remove yourself from the here and now and the today, all you had to do was keep buying Bitcoin at the open and close of the weekly candle. Right? That's all you had to do. Every time it closed and it opened higher, buy. Right? That's all you've had to do. And you would be in great profits right now. So maybe there does come a time when so there's a difference between investors and traders. Okay? Traders are trading more smaller time frames. Investors are long term, but we also need to sell and buy at the right times. Okay, and we even go and have a look at the monthly. Okay, let's have a look at the monthly chart. Guys, we have not had we've had 1, 2 small red candles in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in 10 months. So when people tell me, when is the bull run going to start? It started all the way back here, right? In April last year. Okay, you just, if you're not in there, you just didn't want to recognize it. And this is back when I was telling everybody they had to get it. So the trend is just trending up, 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 up. And again, we can see the very clear 5 waves. Clear as nuts on a tall dog. So this is either going to do one or two things. Okay, this is either going to make an extension, or it's very slowly, and we've got to recognize this now, very, 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 well, maybe not even slowly, but we're going to start having weekly candles like this. And before you know it, and in between those times, there is going to be this kind of thing, this quick down and a quick up. Now, this retrace might happen really fast. It may not. But what we can clearly see now that we're looking at the monthly is the first sign of major selling pressure. Right from that Fibonacci line where Fibonacci got it right. Okay? So, end of January, we want to be looking at where this next candle opens and closes. Okay? You know, is it gonna open and close and then make some, is it gonna, close lower and then start that trend, right? So that's why I want to kind of start looking at it on the weekly chart, okay? Because I'm looking at this from a perspective as an investor who first run, I've been in Bitcoin since $700-800, sold at 11 and 12 on the previous run, missed it to 20, got back in at $3,000 and $4,000. So I'm looking for a place to sell, and to be honest, I'm probably going to move a lot more into Ethereum, which I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay, so we've made the first red candle in a long time, and it's quite a big one. Okay, and you can see back here after these runs when we started making red candles. Right? After this big first major run, look, this big red candle. So we want to watch this very closely on this weekly. All right. Now we've opened higher, and so I'll be really interested to see if that can close higher than this open over here. I don't think so. Okay. But this is what I'm watching. Now there's a big price area between there. There's 34, 33, 30,000 to 38. So that's where we make all the trades and the margin trades to make money. So it's so interesting when we zoom out and we just start looking at Bitcoin like this. Okay, so again, those marks we're looking at are here, where we could just find support and take off again. That could happen. We're really going to find out. So that's 31,769. And then here, this, it's not a very straight line, but, $25,000 retest, 25,063. Okay. So I would not, and that matches with the green cloud. I wouldn't be surprised if we quickly saw $25,000 again. So as a long-term short, that's a definite opportunity, and you can get in and out anytime it goes above here. 38,848 would be a great place to short. So would if we retested here. Okay. So this is the way the markets happen. Now, a lot of people are going to sit there and say it's different this time. That's what people said back here in 2017, right? Coinbase was the most downloaded app. 3% of the population know about it. They all said the same stuff. Now, I do agree that it is different. And you can see the moves are much bigger. We probably should have held this $25,000 mark at the top of wave 3, but we blasted through that. But we are now going to have to wash out some of this. That's just the way to market. Now, how much of that are we going to wash out? I wouldn't be surprised to see $20,000 Bitcoin again, right? That would just completely almost cut it in half. And it's going to wipe out a lot of people. It's going to cause a lot of panic. And what happens in panic? Investors come in and they buy. And then when it's 40,000 again, people are going to start getting in again. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely something we have to watch. I'm going to be watching these weekly candles very, very closely. Especially now we've got this red one, okay? And I'm going to be watching this 31,831, and I'm going to be watching this tops in here, this 40 to 42, to see if we can extend up. Now we may even just get an extension to there and pull back. At some stage, there's going to be a pullback, guys, okay? So while we're on long-term frames, let's have a look at Ethereum on its long-term. Now, if this isn't making a massive cup and handle, and this is a part of the reason that I am looking to go all in, okay? Now, this is not 100% this is what's going to happen, but it is setting up pretty big time for that, okay? Now, if that happens, okay, and we get a cup and handle that goes like this, and I'm being conservative here. We break. That's going to take us through to $2,600, $2,700, okay? So that's why I'm looking at moving a lot of my Bitcoin into Ethereum, and I might take USD and buy more Bitcoin if it does ever get down to that $20,000 mark. Of course, I'm not going to sell all of it, but that is kind of exciting me in the long term for Bitcoin. So what we might see now is a little bit of a blow off. I mean, it might be just to here, to 1170, where we slowly zigzag down to there and we build a few candles, bit of resistance. And once we break that, we are going to go, guys. Okay. So does that mean I'm going to be running out and buying Ethereum now? I am really heavily stacked in Ethereum right now. And I'm not looking at selling it. I'm not going to make any crazy moves either. I am going to trade it. But I think let's have a look at these candles in Ethereum as well, okay? Because Ethereum also has made a very clear 3 waves, even clearer than Bitcoin, actually. All right, so that's body to body. That's wick to wick. That's wick to wick. Okay. So look at that. That has nailed that perfectly. Excuse me. Of that resistance area of 1403, where it's been hammering backwards and forwards all week last week, where people were getting bored of it at that 1400, 15 in this area, you know, here. Right in there. At that 1400, we've been wanting to bust that 1400 mark all weekend. Now we're there, right? Now we're there. So I'm going to be very interested to see where the next. So they're all going to be green candles right now. Okay. Now, was this the top or was this a fake out? You know, was this? I don't think so. So based on that, I wouldn't be surprised if we retest the $1,000 mark again from here, which would go in line with, I mean, we could even retest this 900 mark, okay, which would then work right in line with our cup and handle pattern. And this is only valid upon confirmation of this move, guys. If this starts breaking all the way down here, that's not a cup and handle, you know. We don't really want this to break down anywhere sort of past that 888 kind of mark, you know. Maybe, you know, I think $1,000 is a really good level for Ethereum. And I would say at any point below 1,000, you can start stacking up on Ethereum. 789 is a very, 823 to 789 is a previous support and resistance level that you can see. A lot of support, fell into resistance, and that's where it's ever been in resistance since the first run, right? At that 749, and it took us all that time to get back there to 786. Sorry. So it's very important to see what happens here, whether we blast through or not. But that would then work out for our 5th wave. Well, this is kind of a 5th wave. Well, it's not kind of. Yeah, it is. Not really. No, I mean, that's, sometimes I take the body, sometimes I take the wick because crypto is so volatile, but on the longer term, let's have a look at the line chart. You know, I mean, the line chart shows it right there. As a perfect 78.6 retracement, actually. So let's look at this from a line chart perspective. So I don't even have enough fib lines on there to count, but it is definitely one, two, I mean, 3, 4, 5. I mean, either way, this is either going to retrace or it's going to extend into a new set, right? Or retrace and then be a new set. I would be banking on the retracement just to wash out some of this. It may be quick, it may be violent. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 831 to 788 again. I think this 1,200 to 1,000 level is going to really test. And this is why I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I think we're going to build some candles, which will build this cup and handle thing that we're looking at, right? Like this. Okay. So that's what I think long term, and that's what I'm doing until it's not. I could get it wrong and it could completely tank all the way down, but I don't think so. So let's look really quickly at the immediate future and how we can make a trade on Bitcoin or Ethereum and what we're looking for on this coin from a trade perspective. Okay, so let's come into the 4 hour. Let's just come into the 4 hour. And let's have a look at a couple of fundamentals here. So we were traveling very heavily on this trend, which is still in play. It is still in play. You can see that's the resistance point where we got bullish, we come back, and the minute we fell back through that channel. So this is our trading channel right now. Right? It's a very clear channel on the 6 hour. We are going to come in and look a little bit smaller at this. You can see that we do have a reverse cup and handle happening, but the fact that it's come up this long downside doesn't really make it so much in play. Okay, so that's the channel that we're playing in now for that longer term, longer play. See, and you can see it comes down to that 34,000 that I'm talking about, and the EMA. This is when we start getting down into here. So the play for today is we are in this very solid pattern. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this bottom line for now because that's not so important to me right now. I'm even going to come into the 3 hour now and have a look to see where we are consolidating. Okay, so that was a very strong point that we were trading on until now. So we've now fell into some resistance on that one. So in order for us to go long, you know, there's not much room to there. So I would be looking at this in one of two ways. Any run up to here and a resistance, I would look at maybe shorting Bitcoin. I would be aware that that is going to not be my level of resistance, and any kind of resistance, I'm going to stop out above my break even just to pay for my fees. Sometimes when you do a trade, guys, it can take 1 or 2 times. It might do that. It might drift under here and then go like this again, and you know, and then finally it's going to go. Maybe. So I'm not sure whether this is going to go long or short, and you can see there's red candles, green candles, red candles, and we're going to have a look at it on the hourly in a minute. But based on that channel there, okay, very clear. And usually when we come out of this kind of pattern, we're usually going to go down. Now, it doesn't always work that way, but that's what I would be looking at right now. That would be a retest of the bottom green cloud into 33.87.9. Okay. Now, this is only on confirmation. So what I mean by that is, well, let's look at the upside first. So the upside would be if we can crawl back into this channel and hold some support, we could look at going long from here, and then we were looking at our resistance here, and then we're looking for a long up to 39,000 or so. And the reason I'm going to play the trade like this is based purely on risk reward. So if I'm looking at a long position, now I kind of like that we're holding this trend right now. I don't really want to do this because it takes all of these points out of play, and all it's doing, you know, if I get another candle that goes down, all I'm doing is making an upward trend look, which isn't, I'm looking for something that's not really there. You know, I mean, longer term, okay, sure. but we're looking for a margin trade in here now. Okay, so let's go into the 1 hour and have a look. I want to have a look at this on the logarithmic. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these markers. Okay, and look at purely this consolidation that we are in now. From here. Okay, so there it is. To be brutally honest, that was your short position here already gone. Once we broke through, the following 1 hour opened lower, went back up into the trend ribbon, but it's found resistance. Now we are going back up slightly, but again, we're coming off of this. So we will usually see a continuation of this. All right. So plus we've got a red cloud. So my first instinct is short here on Bitcoin. Okay. So now the reason I like this, I would go short here in 2 places, depending on the next 1 hour candle in 10 minutes. I'll try and get this video up. Otherwise, it'll be the hour candle after that. Ascending wedge, red cloud, under the ribbon trend. So if we fall below here and we can't hold that support, that's a position where I would go short. Okay, and as I said, I would probably then be looking at, and I'm going to be very conservative here. I would then be looking at a short to maybe 35,000, something like this. Okay, like this. If it in fact is from that line up there, So and that works perfectly with these double bottoms here. Look, okay. So our risk reward ratio on that short would be, if it does find resistance here. So that's where we go short. That's our resistance points. We know that. Our first major resistance is there at 3%, but then we got a possibility of 5%, all the way to 7, 8%. Now, if you're doing 10 times leverage, that's 80%. And even here, right, at 2.3, 10 times leverage, 23% returns, guys. But you've got to play it properly. You've got to be prepared to pull the trigger to get out at a small loss once or twice. And you can see it moving now while we're there. So what we do then, if we do go short and we get it wrong, and we get in up at this position, once we get an hour up in here, look at that. We can stop that at a 1% loss. Because once we get in here, then that's definitely not going to go short at this period of time. Okay, so what we're looking at is a potential 5-to-1 trade. Those are the odds that I like. Right? So what happens is a lot of people will chase the short, down here. So what's happening now is 2.67 and 3.543. So your risk is actually more than your reward. Doesn't make any sense, right? So you can pull the trigger and get in and out here on these trades quite easily. Now, to the upside, if this can hold support here on the next hour candle or so and start moving in that right direction, we could either go long there, knowing that we're going to have resistance here, and any resistance get out, but we get a good price in case we go through to here, and then our take profit would be around that $37,960 mark. And if we break through there, we're then going into a bullish channel, and we've got to start looking at these, where you can see I've already got all my alarms set. So I'm set for this trade. I'm set and ready to go. One way or the other, I'm going to make some money on this trade. I want you to make some money as well. And if you want more tips like this, guys, go over to cryptogasmic.com, grab a free membership. We'll give you an upgrade for a 2-week trial, all access to a VIP signals, chat room, educational videos, all of it. All right. So guys, basically that's it for me today. Let's see how those trades go. I really hope you can make some money. And let's come back tomorrow and see how that trade worked out. All right. Be kind to one another, but more importantly, be really kind to yourself. Okay. Take care. Cryptogasmic out.